How's it going? We are going to be doing a little review of this Dewalt tool here. It's a little jig for drilling outdoors for doorknobs. These are just some little half doors for like a children's nursery in a new church. They decided they wanted knobs on them, so we're drilling them out. And you know, a lot of these, they are actually two-sided. This one's only one-sided, but I don't really mind because it's got such a good clamp on here. And I guess you could drill all the way through, but I would recommend drilling through the one side and then flipping this jig over and drilling through the other side, just so you don't blow it out on the back side if your hole saw goes all the way through. Especially since these are laminated doors, I can easily see that like chipping out. So you gotta get it set for your bore. You've either got 2 3/8 or 2 3/4. And then this is for whichever thickness your door is. This is actually a little bit thicker than 1 3/8, but we're just gonna keep it on the 1 3/8 setting right now. And we're doing the 2 3/8 back set because this is just regular passage knobs. So you wanna, so this like there's no standard, like typically you do three feet off the floor is where you set your doorknob. But since these are some specialty, just low little doors, we're just kind of going 3 inches down from the top of the door. So you just make yourself just a little tiny mark. Put your jig on there. Tighten it up. Make sure that you have your offset. Just double check that one last time. Then you're ready to grab the drill. So we'll come on over here. So these hole saws also came with the jig. This size right here, 2 1/8 inch. And this one right here, which it's kind of tough to get the plugs out sometimes, but this is just a 1 inch. So we're gonna go ahead and drill the big bore first. And I like doing this with a big right angle drill on low speed, but if you don't have one, don't worry, you can do it with any kind of drill. I would just recommend do it on more of a low speed, because you can always increase your speed, but when you're just starting out, especially just starting your thing, you don't want this thing kind of moving too much on you. So you just got to make sure that everything's right, make sure that you're clamped down, put your hole saw there, and start drilling. Okay, well, we fast forwarded, but we pretty much got to the point. You know, it took me like a couple minutes to do this, just because this is like a big solid chunk of wood in here. So I drilled down, and if you take a look on the underside, my little auger bit is starting to poke through right there. And that's as far as I'm gonna go from this side. So I'm gonna flip the door over, flip the jig over, and we're gonna drill from the other side just to prevent any blowout from going all the way on one. We're gonna do it from both sides. So I'm actually leaving this jig loose until I find my hole, because your hole is your guide, essentially. If I could find it here. Okay, yeah, I'm there. And then, once you're there, go ahead and tighten up your jig again. And finish this hole out. So as you can see, it does take some time to drill through, but just be patient with it. Don't try to rush it, because you only got one shot at this. And some interior doors from box doors are going to drill a lot easier than this. This is like heavier wood inside. It's got laminate on there, so these are a little tougher to drill, but some other interior doors would be easier. Just kind of clean that out right there. And then time to switch to our 1-inch. Okay, bring it on around. Putting on our 1-inch bore here. Okay, so we got that one done. And now the last thing we got to do to complete this installation here is actually, this is where it gets a little bit more advanced, but just router and inset this so that latch gets inset into the door. And I'll show you how to do that right now. So normally, if this was a full-length door, you could set these little door stops and just, you know, basically put it there and then just router that out. But since this is a half door and there's nothing for that to rest on or to screw, I'm gonna just freehand it with the router, but I'm gonna mark it out. So basically, since I wasn't able to use the jig, I just put this latch plate in where it's gonna go. I just held it and then just scored it with a knife all around 4 sides. And now I'm just gonna freehand route this out with the router. And I've got my router set at the same depth thickness of this plate. So when this is inset into my little dado, this is gonna be flush with the edge of the door. Okay, so you can always cut more, but you can't put wood back once you route it out. So I just kind of went just right up to my marks, and I'm just gonna set that in there and kind of see what it's looking like. Looks like I gotta just do a little bit more here on these corners, but everything else is looking good, so. Okay, we're looking pretty good right there. It probably would be easier to use a smaller, just a very small handheld router, which would be a little easier to use. This one's pretty bulky and pretty heavy, but it's got these big handles on it, so I was able to hold it flat against here just to get it done. But I would probably recommend just use a smaller handheld router for routing out small little stuff like this. And always pre-drill. Always pre-drill so you don't split it out. So use just a small drill, just about the shank size of your screw. And there you have it. I'm gonna just tighten up the screws, and we got ourselves a doorknob. So there you go. Good luck.